The sound effects.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Salutes to everybody. Much love and respect. We are back. What is sex abuse? Sex addiction, relationships, trauma bonding. You see the title. Please like, share, and subscribe. Support the channel. Much love and respect. Share the stream for us, guys. Salutes to my sister Lisi. Salutes. Much love and respect. Now, you guys know that we are being censored. We are being blocked. So we do want everybody who joined to please share the stream. Please support the stream. Much love and respect. And now, what is sex abuse? I've been getting a lot of messages asking what do I mean by sex abuse. I'm pretty sure you guys put what is sex abuse in Google like I did. It gave me a 1-800 number like I was being abused over here. But that's not where I'm going with this. The purpose of this stream is to bring awareness to the act of sex, to bring awareness to relationships in our current states that we're living in. The purpose of this stream is not to disrespect anyone, not to put anyone down or bring judgment upon anyone. It is solely to bring awareness about the subject matter at hand. And with that being said, I do want to give a disclaimer. The purpose of this stream is not to get anybody hard, soft, wet, or bring forth any type of ejaculation to anybody. This is not a sex line. Like I said, this is a podcast show, and we are strictly here to bring awareness to the subject. Salutes to everybody. Much love and respect. I got my panel, T. Wriggles. I got Sister Tony in the building, and we also have Alora with us today. How y'all doing today?
We're doing good.
So that's what's up. Now, from my definition of what is sex abuse, it's not my definition, but from my perception point of it, I want you guys to all be able to give your insight or your thoughts about that particular headline or topic. Just from your own viewpoint. So feel free to do so. Salute to everybody.
I think me as a female, sex abuse can come in different forms. It depends on the victim. And I don't have much to say about sex abuse. I've never been sexual abused.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have much to say about that.
Well, I want to take it from a perspective of, like we say, drug abuse, like we say, alcohol abuse. Can we or can we not abuse our sexual limits that we have? I know it's something that's not really looked upon in that nature, but we're talking about addictions. I can truly myself say, honestly, that I have been my own victim of sex abuse before in the past. And I just wanted to boggle everybody's brains to see what type of concepts they may have in mind when it comes to this term with this choice of topic.
Well, I tell you right now, I haven't been sexually abused either, but I've abused sexual activity. You know what I mean? I would say that, and, I've heard stories, I'm in LA. So I've heard stories that some men, right, get beaten up during sexual activity. So that might be a form of sexual abuse. You're getting abused sexually if the woman is beating you up when y'all are having the interaction like that. So that's where I stand with the example there. Anybody else want to take a stab at it? Oh, he just dropped off. All right. So Tony, and your name is Lauren, you said?
Her name's Laura.
Laura. Okay. So what's your take on it, Laura?
Oh yeah, and I knew it was gonna keep knocking me out. But you know, and I don't want to speak over anyone, so I wasn't sure if anyone was speaking. I what made me think about this was I thought about my situations when it comes to relationships, when it comes to my family, my children, my relationships with the women that I chose to have these type of relationships with in my life. Could I have done something better? Could I have done anything any worse? Or what is the ideal family structure supposed to be like? And how is this helping or affecting my current stage in life right now that I'm in? What's you guys' thoughts on that?
Say it one more time. Put it a different way.
Well, when we think about modern family structure and um, we think about um, past family structures, we can see that there's a difference in family values or what the value of a family is. So my first thought was, how is this helping me or how is this hurting me? And I can only come up with cons, and I'm just speaking for myself, you know, um, not being able to have that family structure within the home with my children. Now I could, but it's all about the choices we make. And it's all being choices that I've made with my sexual choices that
Mm,
does that make sense?
mm, mm. So,
And shout out
and
to Sister Leeds. How you doing, sister? Welcome to the
hey,
bill.
Good
Oh,
evening. Good evening, panel. How are you? Who is
I'm
this
great.
lady?
How you
This
doing?
is
Good evening.
Good evening, ladies.
Oh yeah, did you want to interject? Did you have anything that you wanted to interject or add to the bill so far?
I tried to get in and I think I had the wrong link, so I missed the last part. I know at the initial beginning of your broadcast, you wanted to speak briefly on what is, I'll just say S abuse because I know everything is censored now. It's
Yeah,
like you have to toe around everything. I've been blocked out of so many places, but um, my my input as far as that is concerned is basically boundaries, knowing what no means, and again, just boundaries. And that goes, it's not gender related to me. It could be men and women because both have been victims of this type of abuse.
that was a good answer. That was a great response. I want to ask everybody, do you feel that you can abuse sex in the same sense as abusing drugs and alcohol? Do you think that sometimes, and not because of anyone personally, but just because of the world we live in today, do you think that we overlook our sexual freedoms and we don't really recognize them as abuse? Or how do you guys feel about that?
I personally think a lot of us women devalue our sexuality for the state of socialism. Like, I think it's perfectly okay to be comfortable with your body and who you are and what triggers you, what doesn't trigger you, what interests you, and be vocal about it. A lot of us women, I think we are hush hush and try to suit the man's pleasure.
mm,
I agree. I
mm,
agree.
I agree.
Anyone else want to interject?
To be transparent, and I like to be transparent on panels and my own shows. I'm celibate now, and I have been since 2018. I have no issues with that. I'm actually proud of that. As far as your question, however, um, yes, I think people can abuse that. Um, it can be actually an addiction, as with anything. So Absolutely, in my opinion.
I agree. I agree. Sex can be addictive, most definitely. You know, since I got my tinfoil hat on today, guys, you know, I just remembered, you know, with the sexual abuse, you know, because those I just said something, and it just made me reflect. Like, I think I got raped by a woman because I was saying no, 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 and it still happened. So is that sexual abuse? Did I get sexually raped?
In my opinion, if it was against your will, then I don't know if it was great, but I think you were taken advantage of, and it could be. I'm not really sure with your jurisdiction and how or how long ago it was, but I think you were definitely taken advantage of, especially if she was a lot older. And unfortunately, these things have happened. It's taboo. A lot of people don't want to speak on it, but I think it's something that we should speak on, in my opinion.
Yes. Yes. I was 30 something years old, and I got taken advantage of. Yes. Yes. I'm a victim. I'm a
not
victim,
laughing
guys.
at you. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. You know,
Are
so
you only 30 years old?
Yeah. It was exciting, but I didn't want to do it, and I just got took advantage of. I'm a victim.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm not laughing at you. You know, it's not, you know, it's not saying to, you know, laugh at anyone's sexual abuse, no matter the form or gender or anything. But that was kind of funny though, so I had to laugh. Um, so you know, so now that we kind of got an idea of the perspective and the focus point, you know, if there's anyone who wants to, we can jump into the relationships. How do you guys feel about relationships? We can speak about do's, don'ts, or personal preferences, or anything of that nature. And I want us to be able to feel free as long as we can flow and have a conversation with each other. I want us to be able to do so before more people join. And if it happens to get chaotic, then we'll bring order. But I think we good right now. If you guys feel the need or want to interject, feel free to do so.
Well, I'm going to say this, you know what I'm saying, to pop it off, because it is Friday, guys. It's Friday. Okay. And so I think here's one of the issues I see with the man and the woman relationships. Okay. Every man, like, listen to me now. I got my tinfoil hat on today. Every man, right? Because I'm gonna pose this kind of question to you too, ladies. Every man caters to a woman's emotion. Every man knows that. And so what I've noticed, women are supposed to cater to. Can any of y'all women answer that?
No, but I suggest you be very careful.
Why? It's Friday. No, it's Friday. It's Friday. Listen. It's Friday. Look, I got my hat on today. Okay. All right. See, a lot of women don't know the answer to that question. And I think that's a problem here nowadays, where it's not balanced because men are catering, right? Making sure that the woman's emotions, her feelings, right? But then on the flip side, she's supposed to cater to.
I mean, traditionally speaking, you know, if I may,
Right.
you know, traditionally speaking. Now, this is something that I spoke about earlier because I've had so many messages, emails, social media messages, about this show and this topic. So I just want to say right off, and I want to be very transparent in what I'm saying. I think the family structure was 100% safer before women were acknowledged or given the freedom to express themselves sexually without limits. You know, I think that has caused a lot of you know, um mixed families, and not mixed as far as black and white skin, but mixed families as far as, you know, different fathers, different mothers, and things of that nature. I feel like, you know, before the woman was allowed to be have free range with her sexual experiences, I think it made the family more safer. You
Mm,
guys, you see what I'm saying? What do
mm.
you guys think though? You know, because it's not about, that's just my perception.
I think it depends on the person because honestly, I'm 43 years old and I've always been in tune with my body, what I want, what I don't want, what empowers me, what I need. And I'm very vocal in the bedroom and outside the bedroom. There's like, I am who I am. Either you mesh with me, enjoy my journey, or you step out, and that's cool.
Mm.
But what do you feel, you know, as far as the family structure? Um, you know, how do you feel that has affected the family structure? And I don't want it to be personal. It's not an attack on anyone. I just want our honest thoughts. As
Like,
far
how did
as,
your
I think you broke up a little bit. I didn't really hear your question.
No, but I think my family structure is okay. I'm not with my kid's father, and but we still share holidays. We're still co-parents. We're still best friends. So there's
Right.
no change in family dynamic on my part at all.
Mm.
It's
I
just
see.
no romance. And that's okay. My family doesn't need to see all that romance if it's not there. But we're still friends. We're still family. We're still a unit. And that's the way it should be.
Agreed.
Mm.
Agreed. You know, we got to kind of do the best we can with what we have. Um, and you know, when I had to just evaluate myself. So even though I want to be free to make any choice I want to make, I want to know basically, is fucking more valuable than family at this
Oh,
point?
oh,
Basically.
oh.
And you can feel free to interject if you want to, T Riggles.
Oh no, I want to hear what they got to say about this. Do you know what I mean? Is the pumping more valued, I guess, than the family? Is that what you said, Keith?
Yeah, it's fucking more valuable than family because we're in an over sexualized society today. I mean, basically, you can't even make a business deal without exchanging some type of sexual energy. And it's
Wow.
just the world that we live in today. So, you know, with knowing that, you know, how can we recognize that's what's going on and still be in this over sexualized world, but not of the over sexualization of sex?
Well,
Really,
to be honest, oh, I'm sorry. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Go
Really,
ahead,
really
Pat.
quickly, because I have to jump off, and I'll come back hopefully. Um, that word kind of threw me off a little bit. I think it's again individual and what your value system entails. And your generation. I believe I'm probably the oldest out of everyone on the panel, so I see things from a different lens. But I really think it has a lot to do with the value system that you have within.
Mm. Good
And let
answer.
me apologize. You know, I knew that was kind of like strong word, but you know, I just want to kind of get straight to the point. I do apologize. I didn't really mean to offend anyone. I want to be.
It just took me aback. That's all. I'm old. I've heard it
It's
many
Friday.
times.
Right. Oh yeah, did you want to? And I appreciate your response. Did anyone else want to interject?
I guess not. So, those eyes. This is what you get for that answer. I like that answer.
Come on now, dog.
Oh wait, wrong one. Hold up. Because I did like that answer that you gave, those eyes, and so for that,
Oh
good
yeah.
answer. Good
And
answer. Good
I'm
answer.
a man, and I'm kind of like dealing with that right now myself. But I'm not, you know, putting that out there to, inflict anything on anyone. I want everybody to be comfortable. Everybody's grown, and everybody has to lay in their own bed that they make. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying my position to overshadow anyone. I'm actually practicing abstinence right now at this point because I feel like in order for me to move into a meaningful relationship, then I need to detach. You know, um, we kind of got the wrong impression of what healing is today, and that don't mean because when you detach from the last situation, then you can't just go to cling to another situation. T. Riggles had a good point. We had a good conversation earlier as what was it? Aren't it was why don't men really choose women who dating? Because that man knows if she's dating, then he knows she's screwing. So he'll screw her, but she's not someone that he wants to be with. He would rather choose someone that he knows is not dating because he knows she's not screwing.
Facts.
I
So
think women
before
view
I leave,
men the
can I
same
ask a
way.
real quick question?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying before I leave, can I ask a real quick question? You said that you were practicing abstinence.
Yes,
That,
that's correct.
Okay. I'm celibate, so from a man's point of view, because I'm not a man. When you say total, do you mean total meaning you don't practice self pleasuring?
No,
And you,
no, I
oh,
didn't.
okay.
No. Now I'm not saying that I have in the past, but right currently, while I'm celibate, abstinent, no self pleasuring, and that's a good point because I want to bring that in too. That's a part of the conversation when we talking about what is sexual abuse. So I find that I found that I recognize that to myself to be sexual abuse to myself.
mm, mm,
So no, not even self pleasuring at all. Now, when I do engage with someone to have that type of relationship or connection, I want it to be meaningful.
right.
And I mean, what's you guys' thoughts on that?
I
Salute to
totally
my
agree.
brother. Big Bang Theory.
I totally agree. I totally agree. You know, what I mean, as we, mature as men, uh, you want to have that moment, of that one-on-one thing. Back when we was young, we was hunters. We went out there and we went ahead and go. We it didn't matter. Hey, even when we got our heart broken, right? We didn't go through the healing process. We thought the healing process was, hey man, I'm gonna keep running through them, and then that will make me feel better, And the people that do that, you'll realize like, no, that doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? You will still feel you haven't healed from the heartbreak, like you're substituting some things. So when now, in our manly, mature way of looking at things, that healing, where is, like you said, you're withholding, you're not letting your energy out, so that you keep it in, and so that energy with time and self nurturing, self care, you will heal, and now you're ready for your coming to America princess. Do you know what I mean? And shouts out to you for doing that.
I personally think sex is okay, including self-pleasuring, because at the end of the day, we all have to release some tension. It's like going to the gym. Honestly, I'm going to be frank. So if you're not with somebody, you need that workout. You need that stress reliever in your life.
Well, with people that, you know what I'm saying, pleasure themselves, right? Speaking from experience, right? Is that now what ended up happening is that I've released my pheromones, I've released my magnetism, I've released all of that into the nothing world. Do you know what I mean? And I feel you. I feel you. I feel you, Tony, because at one point I thought in my teens, because I was so charged up, I said, oh my God. I said, I've got to get, and this is what I told myself. I said, I got to get this devil out of me. I got to get it out. I got to get it out. But now, it's better to keep that in, like some say, better in than out.
Right. I want to speak from personal experience now. As I began to slow down on other things like the drinking, the be getting messed up and drinking and stuff like that, my clairvoyance really kicked in. So I started to be aware of energies around me every time I got this urge. Now, ever since I was a child, I've always known that I'm never alone. But because my senses heightened and I was aware of energies around me, ready to steal the energy that I'm gonna push out of me, that's what made me more on guard and more on point to say I want to guard my energy. Now, everybody don't really look at things the same, and it's totally everyone. I'm just speaking from my personal experience. This where I'm at. Now, I wasn't looking at things like this, all the time. I wasn't clairvoyant. I had my blinders on. But now when I'm able to really understand these energies and how to protect my energy, I've become more of a guardian of my own energy, should I say.
Mm. Well, yeah, like I said, with the sex abuse, like I abuse the sex because I
What?
use look, I'm gonna break it down, right? I abuse the sexual activity, like some men we out here, right? That we could use sex as a weapon. That's what I mean about I abuse the sex. Like I use sex to basically dominate, to win over, because there's numbers, ladies. There's numbers out there that a person like me, when I heard the numbers, I said, "Oh my God, I'm going to win. I'm going to abuse the sexual activity." And the numbers say, ladies, and the numbers say, because it's Friday, okay? And the numbers say only 20% of women have had an orgasm. And that, I took that, I used that. I said, oh, because, once a woman has an orgasm, like you can really now abuse the relationship situation because, I was using it as a weapon. Y'all feel me on that?
I'm not quite sure because I'm not the typical female. Like I refuse to get in a partnership with somebody or a sexual relationship with somebody and leave there unpleased. So I'm not that 20%. So I don't know. I'm very vocal.
Some women aren't as vocal. And some women, like you said, don't know their body. So here comes me. You know what I mean? And I'm going to explore the body. And if the woman, and this is why I say I'm not a sexual abuser. I wouldn't say that. I just abuse the sex and use it as a weapon for myself so I could win. It's almost like the next topic that's going to be coming up, right? It's almost like everyone that is engaging and you know what I'm saying, engaging and this engagement, like magic is happening here. Some women would say, "Oh, I've never felt that before." And they'll think that that's magic, which kind of it is, but we're breaking it down. That makes sense.
Oh yeah, because there's just as much as the physical pleasure that's taking place, there's an unseen thing that's happening too. There's an unseen mathematical equation that's taking place. And that's where things are produced from in the beginning. You got to have a feeling or an urge or an attraction to a person. And then, but on the reverse side, once you're doing things and then there's a mathematical equation taking place and those numbers add up, then that's where other things get brought into this physical reality from the unseen world, like unwanted domestic situations or even STDs in that matter, wide ranges. So that's kind of the perspective I was looking at. But I don't want to just look at this from one perspective. I want everybody to be able to talk about this whole issue from their standpoint or their perspective or how they feel, because I don't want to make this thing one-sided at all. I was just giving how I approach the situation, how I feel, and what I got going on right now. So if, however comfortable, you guys are led to go with the conversation, I want y'all to feel free to interject too. Laura, Tony, T. Wriggles, feel free.
I actually have a question. Why are you withholding? Like what are you trying to discover within yourself?
I'm not trying to discover anything. I just don't see a need to I don't have anyone in my life who I want to experience that with right now at this point. And I just don't see the need for me to, kind of assault myself basically. And I'm a man, so I look at it different. Like Lee said in the chat, the choking of the chicken, I'm just not really down with that. If I'm gonna do it, I want it to do the real thing. Anything I do, I want to do with good intention and purpose. So I'm tired of this same cycle of my life, being with somebody, breaking up with somebody, having to find somebody else, then having to deal with the baggage they got with them. I want to try to make the best out of what I got right now. And I want to go into my next situation with the best purpose and the best intention and the best possible point of energy that I can. That's my answer to that.
There's nothing wrong with that, but if you're a spiritual person, the chakras have to be all aligned. And that includes your chakra, meaning your sex. You have to know and explore and release that tension to be fully aligned.
So you said that you have to release your sexual energy to be aligned.
Yes. So your chakras, they all have to be aligned. If it's not being
Okay,
to use
but
and
I
it's
don't think
stopped and
you
it's
have
dead.
to. I don't. No, it's not dead. No, it's
All
not dead
right.
at all. Because
Ain't
you
gonna
know
die.
what? Because you know what I do with that sexual energy. I create by me withholding that sexual energy, building strength, and not really just, in the sense of the word of just jacking off my energy, I'm able to hold that energy and turn that energy into creative energy and use that
Okay.
energy that I would feel out and just be tired and you know what I'm saying? Or just doing something without purpose. With me doing everything with purpose is just giving me more spiritual strength. And that's just me personally.
Do you go to the gym and work out?
Of course I work out every day.
All right. Well, that
See,
has to be like active too.
Hmm. Yeah, I work out every day. I take my little time to meditate. Everything I do with purpose. Eat my food. I just can't stop somewhere and get something to eat and just eat because I'm hungry. No, I put intent to my food, what I'm eating. I have intention with everything that I do because I recognize the cycle that I've been in with my living situations and my experiences. And I want to unchain myself from those experiences. I want to stay elite with my health. I want to stay elite with my relationships. Now, who's this? Now, when I do choose a woman, now I also think like this, and I've also dealt with this recently. If I'm in a relationship with a woman and now I feel we could talk about polygamy. Now I'm gonna be transparent and clairvoyant with my other half. If I say, hey, baby, it's going to be a good situation for us to bring her in, what you think about that? I like her. You might not want to have a baby. She might want to. I ain't going to stop having them until I can't stop having them. Now that we back doing this thing, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do it how I want to. What we going to do? We going to figure this out together. See, now I got good intent with everything. I'm not sneaking around nobody's back. I'm not hiding nothing. And we all building and it's all upgrading the family structure. I'm doing everything with intent.
Okay, I appreciate that. Honesty is the best policy. But what if a woman was to come to you and say, I would like to bring a guy to join our family?
Well, it's only one stick in this game. Only it's only a need for one stick in this
Oh,
game.
see, the
Come on,
stuttering and
man.
everything. I
Yeah,
got you all tongue tied over that
yeah.
question.
But see, that's what I'm saying. See, I gotta be. I'm the man. So listen, if I
Well, we're
gotta,
gonna build an empire.
but look
Me, you,
though,
and the other dude.
nah,
what?
How you feel about that?
see, nah,
How you
look,
feel about
because
that?
this how I feel about it.
Come
Now,
on, man.
this how I feel about it, right? Because I'm the man. I'm gonna have to protect. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to be the protector. So as far
Okay,
as
but
you
I'm the
going
woman. I'm
in
gonna
and
have to
all that,
nurture all these asses.
no, well, see, now we just, but what are you gonna add on? Are you gonna have this other man's baby, or do you just want to have relations with this other man?
Right.
That's how we breaking that down.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
if you talk about me, I can't have any more babies. So I just want the
Okay, so
relation.
it's all
I
about
wanna
pleasure. It's all
I want
about
one to take
pleasure.
Pleasure.
out the trash, build my house, fix my car, and babysit the kids, work like you guys expect for all these women to do. How
No,
about
I
that?
don't expect the women to do all that. Then shout out to my brother Mental Ninja Salute. I don't expect the woman to do all that because let me tell you, I cook my own food. First of all,
But why
no
are you
one,
looking for other women if you do all
no,
that and
no,
I can
No,
offer
I'm
what
not.
you
Not.
lack in?
But look, I'm not. I'm just saying, if that just so happened to happen, and I was in my last relationship in that situation, and it just so happened to happen, So, um, not that I'm looking for, but I'm just saying, what will be the purpose? It's about family structure, and if the man gonna have to protect, then the man should be leading. I just don't feel like there's no other need for the woman to have to bring in another man into the situation. And any man who's with that, he might as well be with that man too. And I ain't swinging that way.
But does polygamy, does the women be with the women in that scenario that you're looking for?
No, it's not. It's not
All
encouraged.
right. Well, what if that what's good for one is good for the other?
Listen, though. I'm not finished. If they choose to, that's on them. I'm not promoting it. That's if they choose to do that. I'm the
But
man.
that's
I'm
what you're looking
controlling
for,
it.
and that was your question, right?
No, no, no. So I'm confused in your questioning now.
Key.
I'm telling you, I'm the man of the household. The man is the head of the household. So
Hmm.
in my
But you're
situation,
coming to your woman and
no, no,
asking.
no, 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 no. That ain't it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. No, that ain't it. So the situation just happened to happen. Let me say this like this. So I have a bond of a relationship that's never gonna go nowhere, right? But because we wasn't physically right there together, then I was physically right there with somebody else. So because I'm the man and I'm the head of everything, I brought them two together. It wasn't like I was going out looking to create nothing. No, that's just how it was. And they was all with it because they was both with me anyway. I'm the head. I'm the man. I'm the protector.
So they got together. Hold on. I just want to make sure I'm understanding this whole situation,
And it's not
right?
about
You
it's
can
not
be the
about the
man. You
sexual.
can
It's
be
not
the
about the
man, but
sexual
at the
part.
end of the day,
Go
your
ahead.
main partner should be your woman.
Of course. But then that goes to lie with, okay, just like what you saying, you gotta see. Listen, everybody's practicing polygamy anyway, regardless whether y'all
Hmm.
like it or not. Everybody's practicing polygamy because every mother and father who's not with their children's mother or father are having relations with other people's babies' mothers and babies' fathers, and it just depends on everybody's sexual preferences or everybody's mood or attitude or what they want to do at the time. But everybody practicing polygamy unwillingly.
No, so polygamy means that you're still having sex with that person, but joining their family.
That's what I just said. I'm saying
But
that because a lot of
because you
people
have a split
go
family
ahead,
and
go
you
ahead.
left your spouse and you have two kids with them doesn't mean that we're not polygamy. We're nothing.
But, but
We're
you know why?
co-parents.
But you know why it is? Because the person, but you don't know if the person you dealing with is doing that though. See that everything's so mixed up. So
That's
by
called
everybody,
cheating.
so by
That's not
everybody.
polygamy. Polygamy is an acknowledgement.
Okay, so let's throw that away because I'm not trying to be specific. I'm focusing on what's actually taking place, not the specifics of it. What's actually taking place is there are, when you think about a family structure, man, woman, child. When you think about a family structure, there are men and women who are looking for sexual pleasure and they're having exchange of sexual energy for sexual pleasure with other mothers and fathers who already have children by women. Basically, that's what I'm saying. Regardless if it's polygamy, regardless if the mother and father still together or not, that's what's happening.
Hey, I think y'all got the terms mixed up. Polygamy is married. You got to be married for to be a polygamist. Polyamory is having multiple. Poly means multiple, and love. Amory and love.
That
So
is correct. But you know why I said that polygamy? Because really, you join with a person as soon as you have sex with them. So that's why I was trying to say, how do we feel about sex abuse and what is sex abuse?
hey, so look, cause I'm non-monogamous and polyamorous. So I date chicks and I let them know that I'm poly. And most of the people I do date are in like what we it's called like the poly community or the kink or alternative lifestyle community and shit. It's not the same as being swingers and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm not looking to get married to chicks. You know what I'm saying? Unless like I marry somebody who's is poly's like the same as open. Open relationship. But polyamory doesn't mean like sex. It could be mental attraction, just spiritual love. It's a whole realm of different things that includes the word love, not just physical attraction and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Sapiosexual, sexual, pansexual. There's a fucking shitload list of them. You know what I'm saying? But like for me, it's all that polyamory is communication, is consent, and if it's not based on communication, honesty, and consent, then we call that polyfuckery. That's basically like, I'm gonna date this many people, but you can't date nobody. It's basically polyfuckery and shit. Now the other side of that is like you'll have a couple and they're kind of like swingers, but they're kind of not, because not gonna go out and meet other couples and swap wives or have, you know, group sex like that together. But like the couple may take on a third person and stuff. You know, we call that thrupling and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And 9 times out of 10, or like I'll say, like 7 times out of 10, that throuple, that couple that's married or whatever, or dating or whatever, they bring on a new person. It's most likely going to be a woman, and it's most likely going to be in like some kind of kink dynamic. Like that woman would be a submissive. Like I know this one chick, bro. She's a lawyer, and she lives with this couple, and they're married, and she is literally their slave. Like literally, she's a slave to the wife and the husband. And the wife gets to have her fun with her, and the husband gets to have their fun, and they all have fun together and shit. But it's a dynamic that they're all consenting adults on. It's not like, nigga, like the worst perverted thing that we can think when we think of the idea of sex slave and shit. And like where sexual abuse comes on is I know a chick too that just got out of a throuple situation where the wife or the girlfriend was starting to become jealous over her dealings with the husband or the boyfriend and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so the girlfriend, what she did a couple occasions, she pushed the limits, her hard limits, and like in a way, and abused her in a certain way and stuff. It's called consent it's consent non-consent, like primal play or predator play. But she took it over the levels of what they agreed on and actually caused her some harm, and it became like a mental, emotional, and a little bit of physical harm. So she had to get out of that relationship.
Facts, man. I'm glad you brought that up too, man. Yeah, you're exactly right on the terminology. And you know, like I said, I really was just speaking from broad terms because I was looking at, you know, how does my even now, like I stated before, I'm not, I'm basically just, you know, being what's this oh, okay. So uh I don't want it to look like a one perspective thing because we got the title. I want everybody to be able to express themselves and give their point of view or their perspective of their situation. But I was looking at this thing and just giving the viewpoint from when I expressed the title, what is sexual abuse? And I compared that to family structure. Like, how do you feel that has it hurt or helped family structure as a whole today? You know, regardless of what we want to do personally, let's look at the structure and the value of family today. It's fucking more valuable than family.
So I'll say this, bro. The idea of the family structure, the societal structure on how what a family is, what constitutes the word family and how it applies, and the way we were raised, I think that is straight sexual abuse, because our ideals and about our sexual instinct, which is a natural instinct, have all been formed by people we don't know. Just like our parents, they taught my parents, and my parents taught me. And then you have the religious sector, you have the states, the religion for the spirit, the states for the fucking body, and the governments for the mind and stuff. Now, everybody, I'm sure, can agree on that. There's two hard limits. They're like these impossible limits you can't cross. And a lot of point of no return. And that's when you take take from somebody, or you're messing with children. You know what I'm saying? And of course, 70 years ago, 12, 13 years old was a consenting adult at that time, like about 70 to 100 years ago and stuff. So I'm not going to argue that right there, because we're talking about two different ages and two different epochs and shit. But the way we look at a family, like a man's supposed to meet a woman, he's supposed to get married, have a house, and get a kid and shit. That all benefits the economical structure of big business. That doesn't really benefit the families because, like, I live in Vegas, the marriage capital and divorce capital of the world and stuff, with porn and all kind of shit that's in advertisement on sexual looking women and sexualized men and shit, even fetishing children and shit. You know what I'm saying? The idea doesn't match the outside of the idea doesn't match the inside, and vice versa and shit. So like, our sexual nature has been corrupted since we were kids. That's why we have these kind of sexual abuse. Is like when it doesn't develop naturally. It's tapered and tailored.
I do agree with him. There's a big stigma of what's accepted and what's not in society. At the end of the day, I think it's communication between you and your partners of what you're looking for and the dynamics that you need.
Yeah, you know, there's a book. So that's the poly shit. Like, just like Keith said, I remember this chick I was talking to, or we were dating and shit, and she was poly, completely poly. She had a husband from some nigga from Brazil that was like an arranged marriage and shit. And he had a kid, and it was an arranged marriage, but she was poly and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was cool with that because I felt like in my head, like, well, I'm getting to use this nigga's girl and shit. You know, so that's kind of how I looked at it. I was so new. But then when she was like, "Hey, I'm about to go stay at my girlfriend, my girlfriend, and stay with her husband," I didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I thought I want to be what we call it. It's a one, I think, one dick ride or one dick pony or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And fucking what ended up happening and shit is I caught the negative end emotionally and shit and mentally because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. You know what I'm saying? So they got classes for this kind of shit, polyamory and all kind of stuff, right? So somebody suggests I read this book called The Ethical Slut. And like the first like fucking couple pages, bro, that shit had me damn near in tears because it was talking about like just the normal vicissitudes and the shit that we deal with as young people trying to find our ideal mate, trying to find the right sexual practice and shit and what fits us and shit, you know? And I'll say this, like the way we were molded as kids and shit, it's funny because the LGBTQ, like, and me personally, I do not care who other people have sex with, as long as not doing it to no kids. I ain't taking it from motherfuckers. I don't care if motherfuckers ever have sex again or die virgins. I really don't care. I only care about who I'm having sex with, right? But we have the LGBTQ pop up and the damn terminologies of how identification and stuff. And the only reason that shit pisses people off so much is because we were taught one thing. We were raised in one dynamic and shit. So when another dynamic gets presented, we looked at that as like, that's not how it's supposed to go. When remember, we had to get taught what was right and what was wrong. We don't even know when we're getting taught if that shit is right or wrong.
So yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said. I did get popped off. I didn't really hear everything. I agree we did have to learn that. And I also agree that, whoever someone's, chooses to, have relations with, that's their business, their choice, their preference. I think it all comes down to personal preference or, what do you foresee in your future? And no, regardless of what we choose, my whole point is to have intention so that we can have direction. And that's where I kind of can say that I would, that's why I take my position that I take with the choices I make because I'm looking for direction. I'm looking for a future direction. Where is this going? Rather than the instant, gratification. Now, obviously, if you have a woman, the woman should have a man who gonna give her that so she don't have to try to figure that shit out and not look for direction and all that type of shit. I think that's the man's job, and I also think it's the man's job to give the woman the instant gratification and shit that she's looking for. That makes sense.
Yes, but I think if you're in a monogamous relationship, it should be both sides. It's not, nothing's a one way partnership. Everything is equal give and take, understanding, communication. All of those elements have to be in aligned for a successful partnership, regardless.
I
Hey,
agree. And I mean, what part of one sided did you? Because I don't want to be, I want to be as direct as possible. I'm not saying like the woman just gotta just be a knot on the log. I'm saying like this. Look, okay, if we upstairs and we in the bed, say we in a monogamous relationship, and we hear somebody kick the front door in, is you gonna go down, or is it my job to go down and check and see who it is?
Listen, I have Italian and German in me. It's probably going to be me that's going down to get them.
It's just a simple question.
I got Hitler in the mob in my blood,
Yeah.
so I think I got this one.
she
But
gonna,
see, look,
she gonna
as a
Isaac.
man though, I'ma tell you, no, because guess what? If we got children in their rooms, I don't need you coming with me. What if something happened to me? I need you to get the children and then get on the phone if need be. I don't need you on the phone right then because some definitely is gonna happen to the person who came in here. Then we'll get on the phone. But if
Oh,
something
I don't
happened
need
to
to be
me,
on the phone. I'm going down to get that person that kicked in the door.
but see, look though. So what if the person who kicked in the door get me in? You now our children. See, this is what I'm talking about. Direction. See, we
Hey,
Then
got
you gotta get the
children.
kids. You gotta pick up.
No, see, no. See, you gotta get Lil Nas X to be your man or something.
hey, but
That's
look,
what I'm saying.
the
Come
people.
That's
on now,
what
dog.
Hey, so what? Because you
Come on, man.
hey,
I'm
that whoever gonna kick the door and gonna be a guy.
Hey, bro, come on.
What if it's like two females and they midgets and shit, two big fat chicks and shit coming in the door one at a time, how they can do and shit. And look, so if and it's crazy because like just because I'm a man doesn't automatically mean that I'm supposed to perform certain duties and shit. Because if I'm unwilling, I don't give a fuck what society or what anybody says my job is supposed to be, nigga. If that's consent, like motherfucker, men are scary too. People are scared. Like niggas is kicking the door. If you gonna check it, it's the FBI, nigga. Then ain't nobody trying to go check. You know what I'm saying? But you see how okay,
We all
Come
grabbing the
on,
kids and going out the
man.
back door.
yeah, hey, you
Listen.
a now look. What that nigga Eddie Murphy say, nigga? He said if Dracula coming after him, nigga, he gonna trip the bitch and take off, nigga. Hey, so look, like I want to say, like, in my job, because I work on the strip out here in Vegas. I'm a show guy, I'm an entertainer, so I'm taking photos with chicks all damn
Hey,
day and
bro.
pay for it, right? And it's crazy because like people expect like every once in a while, maybe like 3 or 4 times a week, there'll be somebody who gets hella pissed off at me. Like, nigga, you see me, I'm in a cowboy hat, cowboy boots with no shirt on, jeans and shit. You know what I'm saying? There's like 3 other guys out there looking just like me and shit. There's a couple cop chicks out there, a couple showgirls with like bras on and feathers and shit, you know what I'm saying? And you see me and you're mad at me because I asked if your wife, if it was okay if we embarrassed your wife with a fun photo and shit. Like, nigga, like first you think I want to be with your wife. I'm trying to take your wife. I'm trying to get married to your wife. I'm trying to do all this other shit. But because we've been taught to be insecure, and when we see another man, we have to look as a challenge and shit. Some dudes, bro, won't even look. Will get mad if their wife looks at me and shit. Like, nigga, some guys will cover their wife's eyes and shit, or try to get you up and try to jump on the inside and shit.
He's so damn insecure. That
But
shit funny, man. He insecure as hell.
Hey, Ninja Nigga, you said you got the beads on. You got the beads.
no, I don't got no beads on this shit, nigga. I'm a cowboy in no shirt, Chippendale, right? Magic Mike showing shit, right? So
Oh, okay.
they'll cover their wife's eyes and shout like, hey, if you do that, she gonna become gay, then you be out here with me, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And things like with black people, no bullshit, bro. A black man will see me and I can see the joy leaves his life and shit. And
Yeah.
he'll walk past and he'll be mad at me because I'm there because I'm black too. So I'll say to that, I'll be like, hey, you can look at me, babe, I'm black too. And that always makes either the niggas will always laugh or get even more mad. And then the little Colombian bitch with the big titties and the fat asses and shit with the cop chick outfits will walk up and all that shit leaves the window. And he's like, now you're trying to fucking get close to do a photo and shit. Like, bro, the shit should go both ways and shit, nigga. And like the relationship, the dynamic should be knowledge and shit, knowledge of self, and what do we want, what do we don't want, what are our limits, our hard limits, our soft limits, what are our no's, what are our yeses and shit, you know what I'm saying? Because if you don't lay that shit down and figure out what the hell you doing, then you're gonna get speed bumps, roadblocks, fucking cliffs, and you're gonna always be crashing and burning every time you turn the corner.
Oh yeah, you gonna get disappointed out here because it's really open. It's open. It's open game out here now. So, I mean, you gotta kind of have a I don't give a damn attitude or be all the way conservative. It ain't no gray lines. You all the way. You either all the way open or all the way closed. That's the only thing gonna work, in my opinion. Because with the gray lines, it's gonna always be some bumps and bruises, like you just stated. And I do want to give Allura a chance to interject. I don't think you got a chance to get the mic, but how you doing? And you can. What you think so far? You want to interject on anything that's been said so far?
Um, I don't know. I live a different life, I guess. I'm
Nah,
in a
that's cool.
lifestyle, but
That's
also have
cool.
different views about, I don't know, the way girls think, I guess.
We want to hear your views though, so feel free.
Yeah. What is your lifestyle? How is it so different?
And I promise you, I'm looking at your face only. I'm only looking up. So go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm not worried.
Facts.
Oh yeah,
I'm looking at the glasses.
oh yeah. Feel free to give us your perspective. You can be comfortable. It's all good. Go ahead. You got it.
No, I'm a swinger. I have a boyfriend. We're in the lifestyle. And yeah, that's basically it. But
What
I got a
lifestyle is that?
question. Hold on once. I got a question. So
Yeah.
you said you're a swinger. So
Swinging.
do y'all trade, or do you go, or do he go, or how that work out with the swinging?
so we have different rules. Like ours are same room only, and then typically we do group chats as well.
Okay, so group chats or woo? Yeah,
Group chat?
I know.
Yeah.
So do y'all y'all all in the same room, and do y'all just have a orgy, or how that work?
It depends on the vibes.
Depends on the vibes.
Right.
Okay. Now is there any type of long lasting relationships? Is this a one time thing, or how does that part work?
Again, depends on the vibes. Like we have met a few people that we're good friends with, but there's some that we've met and like messed around with, but we didn't vibe, so we don't really talk anymore.
Okay. So go ahead. Go ahead.
So do you normally go like swinger clubs in your area?
There's not really any in our area. We typically do like lifestyle parties, or we have gone to Rhode Island to a couple of clubs. But typically we try to stay as local as possible. So meetups or like hotel takeovers or parties.
Y'all use FetLife then?
We don't use it often. Like we have accounts, but I honestly don't even know if I know my login.
Yeah, so I'm me personally, like I'm not, so solo non-monogamous, polyamorous, non-monogamous and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But like in Vegas and stuff, we have a couple world-renowned swingers clubs and shit, like the Green Door and the Red Rooster, and then we have.
I was thinking of the red one. I haven't been out there, but I've heard.
Red Rooster.
Yeah, that's old school. Those are old school ones. Green Door is like fucking like it's famous, but that's like in like bad town. It's in the bad part of town where you got a lot of drug abuse, a lot of like sexual fucking mentally challenged people because of stuff and homelessness and stuff. That's over on Karen area, right? But Whispers, when you go to Whispers, it's a swingers club. Mm-hmm. It also has a playroom. My mentor, my kink mentor, teaches me how to do all the impact play and electro play and all the shit that single tail whips and all that shit. He's a volunteer, so I'll go there, I'll bring a chick, and we'll go and I'll learn some new things and shit. But it's still a swingers club. You know what I'm saying? They have private rooms, they have a dance floor, they have a karaoke. It's like it's like nightclub vibes. I go there, or like times you'll see in a nightclub. There'll be some nice looking people there. There'll be some fat looking people there, some old people.
There's all kinds of people.
I got a question though, right? So how long have you been with your boyfriend?
10 years.
10 years. And
Long
so
time.
how long have y'all been engaging in the swinger lifestyle?
3.
3 years. Okay, now what initiated you guys to make the decision to take the steps to being swingers?
I asked him if he was interested.
So, and what was his response? Did he feel that? How did he initially respond when you asked him?
That nigga thought it was a setup.
No, yeah, probably, but no, he was like, he didn't really know much about it. Neither did I really. We just, I don't know. I think we actually saw stuff on TikTok and then kind of went from there.
So is that where you got the idea or the urge to do it? Where did you initially get your idea to introduce it to him?
I think we were probably talking about threesomes to start, and then I don't know. I don't really remember, honestly. We just kind of started talking about it. I think I saw a TikTok video, and then we slowly found out like other people around us that we knew were already in the lifestyle.
Right. So now I want to, because we got different topics on the table: sex magic, trauma bonding, things of that nature. So I want to ask you, how do you feel the spiritual essence of the swinger situation is with you? Not anyone else. Do you feel any type of spiritual aspect as far as the whole swinging situation with you and your boyfriend?
I think like after like a play date or a party or whatever, we tend to want each other more, so it brings us closer.
Ah, okay. And have you had anyone who may have tried to introduce any type of spiritual attributes, or should I say any type of sex magic or rituals ever come into play when you guys are having a swinging session?
Can't say I have.
Uh, What about mask and role play and all those type of things? Because the reason the reason I wanted to bring that up, because a lot of times in these situations, there is a unconscious involvement in sex magic. So I just wanted to see if you may be aware of that, if you've seen any type of signs or anything. Now, after she interjects, then Mental Ninja, you feel free to interject. I know you may have some insight on that, but I want to give her a chance to respond.
I don't think so. I think more so like I don't think so. I think I don't know. I don't really know.
It's just solely for pleasure. And it's just solely for pleasure.
Yeah, it's for pleasure, for fun, to keep our connection strong. And I don't know, afterwards, it always makes us realize we feel stronger towards each other than other people.
And so I want to ask you, because what this sounds like to me, and I'm just giving my perspective, no negative or positive attributes whatsoever. So it makes you feel how much you guys feel stronger for each other. It sounds kind of like practicing divination to get to the divine, like reaching the outside source to find an inner connection. It's kind of like burning a candle on both ends. And it's just, to me, with my aspect, not to dim or shine any light on your situation. And so how do you feel about that?
I think that's your perspective, I guess. I honestly, we do it to have fun, and if the vibes are there, great. If not, we only play with each other or we go home. I don't really think we're kind of pulling for strings to keep us together, because if that was the case, we wouldn't be strong enough to be in the lifestyle.
So do you think that you guys would have the same type of relationship without the swinging? Because I'm kind of trying to get a sense of,
Yeah, we're
you know,
actually like on a break from it now. Like we're just focusing on each other and our family.
that's a good thing. That's beautiful. And you know, I just wanted to ask those questions, so I can kind of just have a bit more of an understanding. And I appreciate your response, but I did want to let Mentor Ninja interject because I know he may know more about the sex magic part when it comes to these type of meetups. I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but Mentor Ninja, are you aware of any sex magic or spiritual?
So I'm gonna
Yeah.
say, comes to like sex magic, being that I'm in the OTO, Ordo Templi Orientis. Our religion, the religion is called Thelema, and we are practicing sex magician. That is the literal definition of what sex magic is and stuff. And it's with sex magic, MAGICK, and it has a different meaning than MAGIC. Magic is with a K is the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. That's the definition that we have for the word magic. Now you put sex with it. This is like not just perfunctory with two people like engaging in an erotic pleasure and stuff, but it's also the idea behind two things that are separated that are coming together to be reunited with themselves by their separation. For I'm divided by love for this. I'm divided by love for. I can't remember the fucking saying. But the idea of sex magic, there's the vanilla idea, which there's like, unless they're like some kind of occult, esoteric practices and stuff, the biggest thing you'll probably get to be like tantra, some kind of hatha yoga, pranayama yoga, or some kind of yoga type based thing. Semen retention, edging is like a sexual magic kind of idea. You know what I'm saying? Fucking denial. All these like Pornhub type fucking hashtags and shit. You know what I'm saying? Can be used for like, sexual, mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical benefits and stuff. Like there's a style of tantra where it's within the with Kundalini work and the yogi and the yoni and shit, and it's basically like the people sit next to each other and they're like sitting Indian child folk like around each other and they stare in each other's eyes and like basically they try to maintain an arousal as fucking long as possible without expelling that fucking energy of the orgasm and stuff, and then they can use that to manifest this. Now that's like really vanilla Karma Sutra style tantra style stuff, and the breathing techniques while being pleasured and stuff or edged and shit. It's all like tantra stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now there's also like, you can say there's like a dark side of this kind of stuff too, but it's not really dark if it's consented, and that's called CNC, consent, non-consent, and that's where we get like the idea of like rape play. You know what I'm saying? Where what we call primal play, chasing somebody around the house, knife, a kidnapping scene, and shit. And these things are called scenes. They're agreed upon, structured play games and stuff that both parties or all parties involved are playing certain kind of cosplay positions in it and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But like, now I just want to say this, bro, like when she was talking about how she brought that to her boyfriend and shit about, the swinger thing, about extending their fucking, opening their relationship up, this basically the way to say it first, right? Is when I was dating and she was like, I got to a point where it was like, because I thought it was going to be polyamory means that I'm gonna fuck two bitches at once, nigga. That's polyamory to me.
Yeah.
Right. And so she's like, I'm like, okay, I think I'm ready. Let's do it, but we gotta do it gently. So let's find a girl. And shit. And so she's like, oh, it doesn't always work that way. I'm like, nigga, what the fuck you mean it don't always work that way? So eventually and shit, ain't nothing was happening. I was like, all right, man, let's go hit the swingers club that you go to and shit. Let's go. I was like, but look, I never been to this shit before. So when we get there, let's try it out. Let's say you see a dude and you think he's cute, but his girl ain't cute. Ain't nothing happening. But let's say I see a girl and she cute, but he ain't cute. Too bad. Because if I ain't fucking, nobody fucking. That was my whole fucking mentality, nigga.
Yeah. So now, so you guys are just passing, exchanging partners.
Me?
No, anybody with the swingers, is it just you exchange just the partners with the one person, or do everybody just kind of? I don't, that's
It's whatever
something
your
that
dynamic is. Like if
good dynamic,
you're
whatever
all
you
completely
choose.
straight, you're just switching.
Okay.
If some of you are bi, then there might be like group sex or girl and girl or threesomes or someone just watches. It depends on your dynamic.
And see, this brings back to my point, because like Mental Ninja just stated, right? Now, a lot, like totally, this is what I know from spiritual awareness, that the majority of people in this lifestyle are practicing sex magic. So that's why I asked, were you aware or unaware? The one
Yeah.
who would be more primitive to be aware would be a man, and a woman would enter this realm solely looking for pleasure, unaware of what she's totally involved in.
Them niggas ain't practicing no sex magic, bro. They just some normie ass people. Like I said, like there's more of it. There's more of a spiritual nature when it comes to like kink, like play scenes, like sub drop, dom. There's a whole lot more than just. I'm not saying a swingers is random hookups, but that is the whole base of a swingers club or swinger lifestyle is to find somebody, a couple that finds another couple, whether they be boy, girl, or identifying as whatever and shit, you know what I'm saying, and have an encounter and shit, you know what I'm saying? It could be long term, it could be short term and shit, you know what I'm saying? The thing about like with the swinger lifestyle, there should, you would assume and shit. Theoretically, there should be the practice of safe sex because these are random hookups and stuff. It's not always observed, but then like usually in these like she's talking about hotel parties or hotel takeovers and stuff. These things are pretty much vetted in most cases and stuff. And like most people will be like, wear condoms, or if it's a bareback kind of situation, you got to bring a fucking a current testing. You know what I'm saying, within the last 14 days and shit, which still. They could have caught contract something like the day before and shit, or 5 hours before and shit. But like, as far as sex magic, as like operators, people out there trying to make something happen, these are just normal people that are just hooking up, basically.
The swingers are normal, and the fetish would be more of the people who doing sex magic, correct?
That you would find like more people who would probably be engaged in some form of understanding of sex magic, like with intent. You know what I'm saying? So like when I dom a chick, you know what I'm saying, and we're gonna do an impact play scene. We do a conversation first. We get the consent first. I found the hard limits. We go over the colors, the red, yellow, and green and shit. You know what I'm saying? Get a safe word and shit. Find out how much time she has. What she likes, what she doesn't like, what she's okay with, what she's not okay with and shit, which is like a build up to the intention and shit, you're building up those energies and stuff. And then like if you ask anybody, if you ever have somebody that's like a sub or a dom and shit, you know what I'm saying, as a female, they will most likely say, yes, I have some kind of spiritual ecstatic experience when I'm being, tied up or shibari rope and suspended or, needle play, whatever the case may be and shit, bro. Like the kink, I think kink, the word fetish, the word fetish itself means like a divine object. It's something divine about fetish that makes it a fetish and shit. So with the swingers, these are most like just random hookups or just the people out there to hook up with play. Like she said, we do play dates and stuff. Now play can be swinger and shit. Kink kind of considers swinger lifestyle like vanilla, kind of like normal. Like let's say mainstream rap versus underground. Kink will be kind of considered underground. You know what I'm saying? Mainstream will be swingers lifestyle and shit, but they do cross-pollinate in a lot of ways.
Okay, I got you. That make a lot of sense. And T Riggles, yeah, I know you want to interject, good brother. Go ahead, you got it.
Yeah, because Mental Ninja, man, you know everything about this. So they got a thing where they chase each other around the house.
Yeah, it's called
great word too. Great.
It's called primal play, and that can fall in all kind of
primal.
Like primal. So like, I had a friend. They had a play scene at a play party. It was a big event and stuff. and it was simulated kidnapping. They came in dressed like freaking like damn near like ninjas and shit with the so girl up and shit, and she was like, no, but it's all consented. I'm saying there's a level for the way primal play works. Me personally, I don't do primal play. I don't do race play. I don't do scat play. Okay, so race play is like, you know, racial slurs as part of the setup, as part of the place.
You saying race, like racial? Oh yeah, like
I think I know what that is.
So if you watch porn, dog fart is fucking race. Blacks on blonde. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute.
Race.
Wow.
And so like then there's scat play. Scat is like involving like feces and shit, like the grotesque things and stuff, you know. And like there's blood play. There's fucking there's breaking.
Man, I got a question. So you mean the race, like so if you sitting there and you getting fellatio, and if she like calling you a nigger, I mean, do you kind of like just get off by? Do you still come, or do you smack her, or how this work, man? Because I don't.
Like race play like that is with the hardcore, really bad usage of terms and stuff. But like there's like softcore race play, like you like, babe, you a good little white girl, like this BBC and you, huh? Let me slap the shit like that and stuff, where you're fetishizing the fact that this white girl obviously loves black guys and shit. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, like in swinger clubs and shit, you know what I'm saying? Is like when I go there, I bring a chick. I'm not gonna, you know, I have yet to find another chick that I will be down to have fun with my girl, with the chick I'm with and shit. Because usually 9 times out of 10, the girl will come up to us and she like, we really like what you guys. I'm a voyeur. I'm an exhibitionist. I like fucking chicks in front of a lot of people and shit. You know what I'm saying? They're not even in the room to me and shit. I'm doing my thing and I'm the man, nigga. I'm the man. You feel me? And so and so like every once in a while, a chick will come up.
Yeah.
And she'll be like, I really like what she was doing. Oh, you guys are so hot, blah, 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 blah. And like, usually that's kind of like the guy will send the girl like, I want to find out first. And so for me, like, I do have like a line I draw and shit is like, you know, because I live in Vegas and like, I haven't done the swinger thing as far as swap girlfriend and wife or whatever shit is. Cause I'm poly and shit, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not opposed, like, you can fuck my girl, I'll fuck your girl and shit. But the thing is, I'm extremely safe. And I always have like, I don't know where your girl been, this and that. So it's gonna be protection. There's certain things that's not.
That's gonna be my next question, man. And I'm glad you brought that up. You know, I do want to, even though we're not shitting on nobody's preference or lifestyle, I just want to ask everybody, you know, personally, just for me and my channel, you know, just be safe. You know, use protection, man, and just try to be as safe as possible. You know what I mean? And then my bad. Go ahead, y'all got it.
Yeah. So look.
Go ahead. Yeah, because look, with this whole swinging thing, okay, all right, maybe it's my insecurities, okay, right? If it's my girl, I'm not taking my girl over there, nah. But I would take, if I did go to one, I would take a girl that I'm like sexually attracted to, but we're not together like that. Well, yeah, take her. Yeah, go ahead, take her, or you know what I mean, or bring in another girl because you know we're not in that type of relationship. Maybe because you know I think I'll get hurt, y'all. I get hurt. I can't see my woman getting banged and towed back and get her back blown out by somebody. I can't see that and be turned on. But if it's a girl that I'm just sexually attracted to, you know what I mean, and we're having fun, oh yeah, I can see you getting back. Oh, clapped it up.
Hey, I'll say this, bro. The stigmas are greater for black men. Like it's really taken me. And I'm not like so when I first got into kink and all this shit, it was like 3 or 4 years ago before my like 2 years, like about a year and a half before my accident, like 2021 and shit. Went through a breakup with my like the love of my life. We just mutually dissolved the relationship, never argued nothing. It's just like she couldn't see herself being a stepmom, and I couldn't fucking blame her. I loved her enough. She kept talking about it, like we got to talk. And I was like, babe, it's okay. So we ended up dissolving the relationship. And then that's why I went to do my porn thing and shit. And that's how I became a kink model and shit. But in the beginning, it was I'm down to fucking I'm down to dress up in kink costumes and harnesses and shit and look good and model and shit, you know what I'm saying? But that's it. I'm trying to fuck bitches. And then like there's a checklist and shit where like I don't want to do the fucking spanking chicks and shit, you know what I'm saying? But then I started doing the paddle play and the fucking impact play, and it was like, oh, I don't want to learn shibari rope. Now I'm going to shibari rope classes and shit. And then with the swinger shit, bro, like I'm down to go take a chick there to go do a play scene and learn and do some experimentation, learn some education with my mentor and shit. You know what I'm saying? Him and his wife and stuff. And then we'll go into a private room, close the door, have our fun. Or we'll go into one of the public rooms and shit and fuck in front of everybody and shit. Just be fucking some freaky motherfuckers and shit. But I'm not to level like, you know, your girl can come over here and then like, because in the back of my head, I'm like, the nigga gonna try to get too close, nigga. And
So when you said that, you said something key, like, so you said that she didn't want to be a stepmom. So, how does this type of lifestyle, how does like the having a child and the family structure, how do you think that's affected by this type of lifestyle as far as from your aspect? I know she spoke on, it kind of makes them have a better relationship. They're just doing it for fun. But from your perspective, like you just said, the girl, she didn't want to be a stepmom and things of that nature. What type of issues or situations have you personally seen when it comes to like as far as family structure, even feelings and children and things of that nature when engaging in this type of lifestyle?
So look, I don't bring women around my kid no more. After Bree and I, after we broke up, you know what I'm saying, there's our relationship and shit. That shit hurt, bro. Like, and it hurt because I knew she was struggling with it. And like, how can I say I love this woman if I wasn't willing to fucking meet her halfway? And shit, I get it, man. Like, who wants to be a fucking parent, nigga? Like, at the end of the day, nobody and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I had to let her go because I couldn't hold her hostage. And so, like, I did date with another chick. When I first started doing the show guy shit, the chick I was working with, we started fucking and shit. And I brought her by my mom's house one day on Christmas Eve and shit, whatever. She gave my son $100, and my mom kind of looked at me like, "Who the fuck is this bitch?" You know what I'm saying? And then like that's the last time I brought a chick around my son. But my son, he's in the 6th grade and shit. We had the conversation about the birds and the bees and all that kind of stuff. I kicked into him like the truth. I'm like, look, bro, you're getting that point, man. You gonna start seeing girls, you start liking them more than just like having cooties and stuff. He's like, stop it, dad. Stop it, dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he understands and shit. I'm like, look, bro, I like many girls and stuff. Sometimes I have 2-3 girlfriends at one time and stuff. He's like, really? Oh man, really? How can we just have one? I'm like, bro, look, you can do what you want, but just know like you're gonna have to find what's right for you and shit. And the thing is, I saw like, look, buddy, when you meet a girl and you like her, you can talk to me about that, man. We could be on the same page with this kind of shit because like, and it's like I remember thinking like back in the day and shit. What if my son became gay or some shit? You know what I'm saying? Or wanted to cut his dick? Like that's my kid. I can't mold this nigga. He's gonna be his own person and shit. I'm hoping that I'll have a grandson, but then I'm like, nigga, I don't want to take care of the nigga if I do. You feel me? So like for me, it's all about the consent and communication, because the biggest thing in relationships where they fail is because we are groomed in one way of thinking it, how they're supposed to be, and they don't work that way. We don't know what to do, and we usually act out of retaliation against ourselves, our mates. And then we build these biases and these resentments up against other people, and we come with these unwarranted demands and fucking unsolicited advice, and we expect women to be like subordinate, you know what I'm saying, to do what we want, and then at the same time we are still attracted to women. That's the biggest deal with.
I'm gonna ask you a question because you wasn't on earlier. So, but I like your responses, to everything, because you really bringing forth a lot of clarity, and I appreciate that. So, do you see? Because I was able to admit that I saw, and I haven't really engaged in, I'm old school. I'm straight up man, woman. Wildest thing is me and a couple of women, maybe 3, maybe 4 at one time. But I haven't did nothing extra outside of that. I never swapped. I never same sex. Never none of that. But so do you see this as okay? So how do you feel about sex addiction? Do you think that we can classify some of these scenarios as sex addiction, because we talk about drug addiction, we talk about alcohol addiction. No one really wants to see their self as a sex addict or their situation as sex addiction, because it's kind of in the world we live in, so if we can say we got all of these different type of sexual acts that we can engage in, but then we restrict some people when we say, oh no, you're doing too many drugs, or you drinking too much alcohol. You drink too much alcohol, you can have a wreck, kill yourself. You do too many drugs, you can get high, do some crazy shit. If you have too much different strain sex, you can get some shit that you can't get rid of too, like, or somebody could want to harm you because of their feelings involved. And so, how do you feel about the whole sex addiction thing?
Sex addiction is real. And I'm gonna take this time also that if anybody feel like they're struggling with sex, like with they might have addiction to sex, or it's like they feel like they need it all the time, or they can't stop thinking about it, or they start compromising their own morals and into engaging in sexual practices that may be physically, mentally, emotionally, and fucking legally dangerous and stuff. There is Sex SA, which is Sex Addicts Anonymous, and there is also CODA, which is Codependence Anonymous and shit. And I go to a lot of meetings. I go to AA meetings and shit, 'cause I'm an alcoholic and shit. Sometimes I go to NA meetings, but I have been to a couple, SA meetings, MA meetings, all kind of meetings and shit. But I know a lot of chicks. I'm in Vegas. There's a lot of porn stars that live out here. I would say probably like 40% of the motherfuckers live out here. Probably 75% of all the porn film now is filmed here, and I'll probably say about like 95% of all porn ever filmed has been filmed in Las Vegas back in the since the VHS tape days and shit. So a lot of people find that once they start, they can't stop, and they're like losing jobs because they're staying out tonight, or they're out there looking for sexual encounters and stuff, and they're doing all these kind of things. They're like they're saying, I would never do this now, and now they find themselves doing that. They might be a sex addict and shit. There's a lot of porn stars. Like, I'm not gonna name any names and shit, but I see a lot of porn stars. I go to SA and shit every once in a while, just drop in and shit. Usually I'll go to SA or CODA meeting after I've got out of a relationship. I'm kind of having like a little bit of the fucking emotional hangover. You know what I'm saying? Especially now I'm being poly and shit. Like, I'm poly, but I haven't been with it, in a relationship in about 4 months. About 3 months is my last poly relationship, and my last sexual partner was about a month and a half ago. You know what I'm saying? And she's poly, and she's like a dancer and all kind of other shit. You know what I'm saying? But you got to take care of your own mental health and shit. And it's good to have people you can check in with. And if you don't know if you have a sexual addiction and shit, which could be addicted to porn and shit, where you're like you're not sleeping right, you're not eating right, you're waking up. You'll know if this shit's affecting you, because it affects people like drugs affect people and shit, like beer affects people and shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's interesting. So I want to ask you, when you're at these SA meetings, do you hear a lot of people speaking about their sexual addiction being caused by traumas?
Yeah, so like a lot of people, have been like molested, or they were groomed at a really young age, you know what I'm saying, by somebody when they were like 14, 15, 16. 16 is legal consent age here in Nevada and shit. Emancipation age is 16 and shit. So it's a legal age for consensual sex and shit, as long as the parents ain't gonna try to press charges and shit. If it was consent, then like the parents can't really even press charges for statutory rape and shit if there's consent. You know what I'm saying? At 16 years old. So like, a lot of these people, like, we got human trafficking too, bro. I know, bro. You know what? I know this one chick, man. This badass little chick, bro. She like one of them white goth chicks and shit, man. She was kidnapped, sold into fucking slavery, bro, for like fucking 2 years and shit by a biker club.
And so did she say that, that turned her into a sex addict, or did she feel like, because I believe in spiritually transmitted demons?
Yeah, look. So we call this present consideration a spiritual malady. You know what I'm saying? Like not disease, but a disease, a spiritual diseasement. You know what I'm saying? And so like this chick, man, I'm not gonna say her name and shit. She's fucking beautiful, little skinny, nicely shaped, white, pale white girl with the black hair, this goth chick and shit, bro. She's a total, she's a fucking super slut, bro. She's a super freak and shit, man. But she has such low self-esteem and shit because she was trafficked for like 2 years and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like she deals with this internal battle. Like she won't even leave the house for like a month, 2 months, and all she'll do is sit at home, do her chatterbait, her fansly and shit, and that's how she pays her rent and shit, man. But she's like agoraphobic. She will not come and interact with people and shit. You know what I'm saying? And when she does, she's like, as fine as fucking beautiful she is, bro, she'll just talk shit about herself. Oh, you like, oh, you're beautiful. She's like, no, I'm not. And she like, you think she's like playing around, but like, she's dead ass serious and shit because she doesn't feel beautiful because she really hasn't come to terms that the sexual abuse that she went through. And this is the fucked up thing about rape. You know what I'm saying? I am an
we got to say great.
Okay, great.
Yeah, they'll flag the stream about the strong R word, but yeah, you got it.
Yeah, so for we'll say sexual abuse and shit, you know what I'm saying? For going through that kind of trauma, me as a man, I cannot say I know what it's like to be sexually abused in that manner by another person and shit, you know what I'm saying? Maybe some chicks took advantage and shit, and maybe, you know, I felt a little salty or stupid or used or whatever and shit, like a tool or something, but like we're talking about with a female and shit, you know what I'm saying? And like the thing is, like when that happens, and I've heard this in meetings and shit too, is that they still are women. Their biological chemical makeup still works the same way, whether they wanted to or not and shit, you know what I'm saying? So the horrible thing about that form of sexual abuse and shit is that there still is pleasure for the woman. You know what I'm saying? And that's where a lot of these abusers that are, you know, mass abusers on that level and shit, they like it because they, as a predator of that nature and shit, they know how they've honed in on that shit. You know what I'm saying? They know that even though they cause this woman a lot of harm and shit, they know that her body still works the way it's supposed to work and shit. So like this chick, man, she like, bro, it's fucked up, man. Like she's dope. I would date her and shit. She like, if she had like a little bit of understanding about herself and shit, you know what I'm saying? But like she has to like, when she engages in a sexual act, bro, she has to be like super slutty, super duper slutty, which is cool. I'm not gonna complain about that shit. You know what I'm saying? But the only way she's able to engage in sexual acts is if she's in that mentality and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking, and then
Right.
she feels bad about herself. It's fucking
Do
sad.
you think that's where like I'm sorry, somebody was trying to speak.
Yeah, so my question is for her to be in that state of mind and being very sexual, it could be the fact that that's the only control she has.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we saying though. That's what we saying. You know, and that's where I was going with this stream from jump, with the whole sex addiction and sexual abuse. So when we can't recognize when we're abusing sex ourselves, because I had to realize it, and it's just trying to sleep with every woman I can. You know, I come up in an era where, you know, it was the thing to be a player. You know, get as many phone numbers you can at the party. You know, try to get as many girls as you can. To me, that's sexual abuse. I was a sex addict doing that. You know, I wasn't even focused on, okay, man, let me just be focused on other shit, you know, like trying to get my life together. Even though I'm doing that, I feel like as much energy as I was putting into, think about all the money I spent on hotel rooms, alcohol, drugs, condoms, traveling, taxis. You know what I'm saying? To do this shit, you know, food at restaurants and all that type of shit. So I want to bring spiritual awareness as far as when we talking about being stern or adding to our spiritual bank, you know, on an internal level and having intent. And I don't want to shit on or overshadows anyone's preference because we're going to do that anyway. People are doing that anyway. So I'm not trying to change anything except for if someone feels like this is an issue and they're really searching for spiritual liberation, then I want us to look at it this way, if that makes sense to you.
Hell yeah, bro. Look, like, and that's why I brought that book up earlier, The Ethical Slut. That's like one of the top books for like polyamory or non-monogamy and shit. But really, it just goes into the fucking Like we could say it goes to the human genome of like why we do certain things and shit. And it begins talking about trauma from a early age and shit of like the first time you felt rejection. It's like betrayal. The first time you felt betrayal by your mate or by somebody you were attracted to and shit. Because like I said, man, we were taught how to use our sexual instinct. We really don't even know what's the right one and what's the not the right one. And the thing is, people like, especially with religious dogma and like, molding people to fucking suppress their natural sex instinct and shit, they act out in these weird ways and shit. And whether it's good or not, it's always going to be negatively affecting them because these are suppressed fucking these suppressed fucking desires they have and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like at one time, for a man to even get a blowjob was like, nigga, you just unleash Satan onto our community and shit. You know what I'm saying? And today, like back in the 20s, they weren't even allowed to talk about sex in schools. Women were, if a woman was caught shaving her pubic hair, bro, that she was like in trouble. Like, I think it was like you can go to jail for that kind of shit. You can go to jail for talking about sexual education and shit. You know what I'm saying? And the government started instituting it until they realized that they can have further grip of control over the minds of the people if you instruct them on how they are to perceive their own bodies and stuff. And like now today, what I'm saying, with the LGBTQ and the trans movement, all this stuff, bro, like who really knows what the right ideal really is? Because for our children, they're introducing one set of understanding that we were taught was wrong when we were kids. And then my parents taught a lot of shit that we did, like men wearing earrings was only for gay men and shit, you know what I'm saying? And like, so it seems every generation, which is like 5 to 10 years, they're switching the game up on the kids and shit to create further misunderstanding from the parent one generation to the next one, and also creating further misunderstanding from the same generation at putting them against each other. And it's all done through the sex instinct. That's why, bro, you go to nightclubs, you got to pay to get in. The girl don't got to pay and shit. She get free drinks and shit and it's promoting like women don't need to have jobs. Women are basically walking around thinking, a lot of chicks are single because they think they're supposed to be paid to be in a fucking relationship. You know what I'm saying? In the kink, it's so easier for a woman to get her desires met in kink than it is for a man. Because
and that's why I said what I said earlier. It wasn't to discredit the woman as being weak or to be submissive or none of that. What I was saying earlier about the man having a direction, and I asked the question about the going downstairs. I asked the question about the projection of where do you see things from here to 5 years or something like that. I'm asking that because, okay, we're going to get this satisfaction, or if you can just get sexually satisfied and then have a direction with the way life's supposed to go, because in a lot of these situations, there are children who are just sitting back and just looking at, their family structure get tossed to and fro. And I've been lucky, you know what I mean? I've been lucky to have someone who don't have these type of values or just not so open. Like, it's open over here. Overseas shit ain't this open. But I know if I had somebody who was just whatever like me, ain't no telling. Then I probably would have had to deal with stepdaddies, and that's something that I didn't have to deal with. You see what I'm saying? For the most part, I never had to deal with none of that. It was always me doing this, going here, being with this person, and doing that like that. So I was lucky. So I can only imagine. See, I know how I was when I was a child. So when we're going through these situations, I knew how I felt when I was a child. Regardless, I went along to get along, but I always felt the way I felt. I was always feeling like, damn, I just wish my mom and my dad was together, because I did see households who did have the mother and the father together.
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
I know a couple kink couples that got full family, bro. I know. Matter of fact, one of the groups that put this called the Cathedral out here in Vegas and shit. They put on some of the best play parties and shit, man, at their house and shit, man. It's a husband and a wife. He's white, she's black. They're about my age, about 40 to 50 years, shit. You know what I'm saying? And there's another couple that lives in that same house, another married couple. And So it's the husband and the wife. He's white, she's black. They've been in the lifestyle for about 13 years and shit. You know what I'm saying? They educate everybody else, have these groups discussions and these meetups and stuff where they teach people and shit and all kind of stuff, right? The other couple that lives in that same house is another husband and wife. The wife of the other couple that lives in the house is the white husband's girlfriend. And his wife, the black woman, she dates people outside the house. And there's kitchen table poly, which is like you bring everybody to the kitchen table and they all get to know each other. Now this couple, he's kitchen table, she's not. She prefers to keep her engagements separate from the household that they have there. However, the husband of the girlfriend that lives in the house also, he is monogamous. Nigga, look, and it gets deeper. And then, I gotta make sure I have those right. And then the wife, the black wife, and the white husband that own the house, they both play and poly and top, was the word top, the girlfriend, which is the wife of the other guy. So the husband of the girlfriend is monogamous. She's poly, dating the husband of the black man. Look, bro, and it's like they're the fucking coolest household in the world. And there's 2 kids in the house too, but they're like 15 and 18 and shit. You know what I'm saying? And like you go in there, but there's a normal ass family and shit, just a normal ass family. But then they have these play parties and everybody from the fucking the lifestyle in Vegas and shit show up. But then our community and shit show up, bro. Niggas is coming up in there dressed as pets. There's this one shit that come with like these fuck. She got her arms folded up in leather straps and shit, walking around like a dog and shit. People dressed like powder puff girls and cosplay and shit. And bro, this shit is fucking nuts, my nigga. But that shit, bro, I'm no bullshit. The dude, he was the first person I thought about asking to be my mentor, bro. He's a solid motherfucker and shit, man. We listen to the same kind of music and shit. And the thing is, I get fucking, I feel weird still coming from a monogamous background, growing up thinking I got to find that one woman, I got to be with her, and also being a fucking black male and shit, you know what I'm saying? When I'm around the wife, because the wife likes me, she's like, hey, I want to do a play scene with a bunch of dolls. We want to like fucking take pictures and stuff with you and shit. I know she wants to fuck, and I know he's cool, but I still feel like
so
weird, nigga. I feel like I don't want to intrude and shit, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not even attracted to the wife.
So wait a minute. See, so y'all got real dogs?
Nah,
Hey, man, listen, I appreciate the way this conversation going, because we having this conversation. We said a lot of shit without getting vulgar and shit like that. And I appreciate y'all, because this ain't a sex line. And like I stated at first, I ain't trying to get nobody hard, soft, wet, none of that type shit. We want to bring awareness to these different type of relationships. And, you know, we want to actually be able to help someone if we can. So I appreciate y'all for giving y'all input the way we is, man, because I've learned a lot from this conversation myself. And I don't really learn a lot of shit. A lot of conversations I be having be pointless and be with no substance. But I've learned a lot from this. So my question is, so she wanted to have a scene with a lot of dogs, and I remember you said people dress up. Dogs.
People that come, there's all kind of different kinks. There's pet play where people dress up and act like pets, dogs, cats.
Oh shit!
All kind of shit. Like these, and look, these people. Like, there's one guy who lives on the strip, nigga, in the Waldorf Astoria. This nigga is fucking rich. And he comes, bro. He be dressed wild as fuck and shit. He a cool dude, but I'm not.
So do they put on a dog suit and walk around on 2 legs, or do they get on their hands and knees on all 4s like a dog? How they?
Has this chick has a custom made. This shit is expensive as fuck. These leather straps that she can stick her elbows into, and she bends her knees and sticks her knees into. This shit's like a fucking like $1,000 fucking get up and shit, probably more. And she has her leather fucking dog mask on and shit. And she is a fucking dog, my nigga. She's getting treats the whole night, 3, 4, 5 hours and shit.
Now, so this is a fit. Listen, and I don't want to be. I don't want to be rude but I would think that they got a fucking mental problem if I seen this shit, man. I think they're crazy for this shit, man.
Hey, look, I got a college. Look, like my last relationship with Jamie, right? She likes to. Then she identified when she would be in her pet play mode. Like it's like these modes that she would be in a mode like she would feel like a pet, and when she felt like a pet, it's either going to be Hazelthay from Watership Down, which is a rabbit, or it's going to be she's a fox. And so when we go out, she's like, "Hey, I brought my collar. I would like to be a fox today." And we go out.
Holy shit.
I'll be in public with her, bro, and I'll walk around on a leash at the store, at Walmart, on the strip, at the anywhere we be at and shit. And she'll just get on her knees at the cash while I'm checking out. She'll get on her knees and look at me like a fucking little fox, nigga. And I'm like, I'm on top of the world, nigga. Got this little white girl.
She's nuts, man. She crazy than motherfucker. She crazy than motherfucker.
Bro, I knew about it already and shit. But I never been to that dynamic where it was happening while I was like with a person with me and shit. People look at us like this big ass fucking old ass black guy with tattoos on his head and shit. And this he has a skinny ass little white girl with glasses, and she just got on her knees and looked up at him and like fucking folded her arms like a little rabbit and shit. And I petted her head and shit, and she fucking like leaned in and like rubbed her fucking nigga like a real animal. Nigga, bro, look. That shit's beautiful, nigga. Hey, that shit
is nuts, man. This shit is crazy. So look, I'm not laughing. I'm laughing with you, man. Because listen.
No, I'm not laughing. I'm totally imagining the situation.
Yeah,
you walking in Walmart and you got this leash.
Bro, like, and look, and the thing is, like, she brought it. The thing is, bro, like the first time she's like, I feel like a fox today. I was like, all right, like, okay, all right. But I didn't know she like wanted to be interacted with in a certain way, so she would start doing this shit, and I kind of got annoyed at first. And then she like later on that day or the next day or whatever, she's like, hey, you know, I kind of had like, you kind of hurt my feelings, or I was kind of hurt that, you know, I told you I want to act like a fox and this and that, and I was doing this, and you just didn't get it. So like, I just want to let you know, like, when I feel like I want to be a fox or a rabbit, this is like this is how I'm gonna behave and stuff. Are you okay with that? And I was like,
so
sure. She's like, if you want, you can wear.
The first time I heard about this shit, right? It's this thing. Now I don't know. I heard about it. I heard of this thing called Discord or something, right? So I'm be taking my son to the basketball game and shit. So you know, it's me, it's my son and his mom, and we're driving, and I'm telling my I had this saying that I used to say when I started back on YouTube. I started saying, watch y'all, in a minute, they're gonna be having kids that act like frogs and shit, right? So my son was like, hey, Dad, you remember you used to say that? No, Mom, it's true. Dad know what he talking about. He predicted this shit. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? He says, it's this girl at my school. She thinks she a cat. As a matter of fact, she carries around a litter box. She only pee and poop in the litter box like a cat. I said, see, I told y'all this shit a long time ago. Y'all thought I was bullshit.
So that might be mental illness, right? And I don't think like a lot of this, it's like cosplay.
Come on, man.
Hey, real cat.
Oh, shit.
Like you can't like. You can't do shit that's like, if a nigga walking
Walmart with a chick, bro.
If a nigga walk around with a dog collar and fucking doggy ears on at the park, get in the dog area and pull his pants down, take a shit, and like,
he going to jail.
He going to jail. He going to jail, nigga. No wrong with that.
But look, if I see a chick at Walmart and she down there on her knees and she got her tongue out like, you know, rubbing her head on your damn leg, ready for you to pat her head, man, and she get home and don't use the motherfucking litter box, I'm gonna think she crazy, man.
Yeah, Like, so within
Come on now, dog.
another thing too, it's called age play.
Come on, man.
Hey, bro, there's a thing called age play too. Now, me, I don't play. Is like I kind of have some so something I don't like about age play. So age play was when consenting adults act like they're younger than what they are, and that's like some of their. So there's these things called littles. A little,
Man, get out of here, man. Shut the front door. Are you serious?
A little will literally act like a fucking child, like throwing fits. And like, I know a bunch of people, or I know a few people, I don't really fuck with them that much and shit, because I think littles can be annoying sometimes, because the whole thing is like, they'll act like kids and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it can give like, throwing shit, nigga. Like,
hell nah, I'll be they got a 1st-degree battery charge. That's when I'm beating some ass. Now you can't be sitting up here crying, having no fit, throwing shit. And see, that's crazy. That's why I gotta have a regular relationship. Listen, if I can't I can't do none of that. I got to have a regular relationship, man. We got to be 2 grown people. It's me and you. We gonna do this shit regular. We ain't gonna do it upside down and all that crazy shit. You know, we got to be normal with this shit, because I can't take it. My nerves bad, man. I'm trying to quit smoking this week. My nerves are already bad.
I can't do it. Look, Mental Ninja, I want to ask you something too, right? Now, with all of your expertise, with you seeing all of the sexual kinks and the deviancy out there, with the children in the home, have you seen the outcome of some of these children that are around this type of behavior and how they turn out to be?
So I only know, I think, of one couple that I know. No, matter of fact, I know of one couple that I think the husband or the wife, one of the two, was raised in a open sexual based home and shit. But we're talking about like they're my age. They're like in their 40s and or I'm 44 and shit. So they're about my age, a little older than me and shit. So we're talking about 80s babies and shit. And their household, there was an open swinger, non-monogamous type relationship in the house and shit. You know what I'm saying? And like this is where the line gets drawn. The whole thing about all this shit about relationships is about communication. That's the biggest thing about a relationship. If you guys can't communicate, no matter what the fuck you're doing. If you're together by yourselves, you don't communicate, it's gonna get bad. If you're open, you don't communicate, it's gonna get bad. The other part of that is honesty and fucking consent. So like, if those things are in place and shit, and there's a word called kink shaming. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, kinksters don't like swingers. That's like kink shaming and shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't shame somebody because their kink is different than yours, like on some religious type shit. But the thing, if you have the honesty, the communication, open communication, and the fucking like checking in and consent, bro, like those are the key ingredients to any healthy relationship. So if there are families that have children in the house and shit, like when my son moves in with me and when I get my house next year and shit, because my mom's helping me out and shit, I'm a most likely have an open relationship house and shit. Or he might see me with a different chick maybe every couple months and shit. Or you might get to know like these 2 girls are dad's girlfriends and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's all me to like educate him and shit and teach him about communication and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because he might not like that. He might only be with one girl. He might think about whoever what he does and shit it's on him and shit as he grows up and finds himself and shit. You know what I'm saying? But the biggest thing. Right. Is to keep communication, bro, and teach communication, because like we didn't get that shit as kids. And that's why like all of us really, we have a lot of fucking just like fucking warped fucking views on like what's normal and what's not normal and shit, because what's normal today wasn't normal when we were kids, bro. Period. Niggas like only niggas that probably have this kind of conversation back in the 90s in the motherfucking Wu-Tang and motherfucking Biggie Smalls and Jay-Z and Mobb Deep days and shit were probably really weird niggas and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like today,
that's a fact. And you know, I saw to have this conversation because I steer away from shit like this. But when I start really learning about different situations, and I start seeing the same signs that people having from sexual situations that people have from alcohol and drugs, I'm like, wait a minute, this is fucking sex abuse. these people are sex addicts and don't even know it. You know what I mean? So that's what emptied me to have the conversation. And like I said, I wanted to bring awareness. And even when I fucking put it in Google, I said, I just wanted to get like a base knowledge. I wanted to make sure that my mind was on point with my perception of it as far as everybody on a general level. So when I asked Google, I said, Google, what is sex abuse? The 1-800 number you gave popped right up. Google started talking. So I'm like, damn, this is a real issue. Like, people really having these issues and shit. Then we in an over-sexualized society. Like, you damn near can't even make a business deal without, you could be selling cars, but you got to exchange sexual energy with a motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just the world we living in today. You know what I'm saying? So I think it is a good thing to be able to bring awareness to this type of things. And there's been a gap between children and adults. So a lot of adults, are experiencing these type of situations with their children, and they don't have proper knowledge. They got to Google some shit. They don't have anyone who they can talk to or ask these questions about these situations and shit like that. So that's what made me want to have this conversation. And, as much as it's something that I usually stay away from, I'm coming out of my shell about having these type of conversations. I haven't had much to say about the conversation, but I have had a lot of questions, and I've been asking questions to be able to steer the conversation to where it can help somebody, if that makes sense.
Yeah, bro. Like, at the end of the day, this is what I've learned from because I go to discussions, poly discussions, BDSM, bondage, discipline, status, and masters and discussions and shit, where I get to sit in an open room, an open forum and shit, and we have a couple of people that are fucking leading the conversation. We get to ask questions, and I get to hear people's experiences and shit, and I get to learn shit. You know what I'm saying? Rather than just go to a play party and be doing shit the wrong way and shit. I want to learn how to do shit the right way. But this is what I learned is that maybe not just spreading awareness, but being open about shit, nigga. Like, especially with niggas and shit, bro. Niggas be acting like they so tough and so hard and shit, but these niggas is the most insecure and most fucking like scary motherfuckers, because certain conversations, they feel like if I have this conversation, it's gonna make me look a certain way. Like, nigga, if you look a certain way, you don't gotta be made to look that way. You already are that and shit.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. I agree with you on that 100%. Especially when we had the platforms, and regardless of how I feel, that's where I had to come to grips with myself. Like, damn, I'm abstinent right now. I don't engage in any type of sexual pleasures, none whatsoever at the time. So, but I'm not afraid to have this conversation. Like a lot of people, several people I know who are in the same situation, and they was like, oh, I can't have that conversation because, and I'm like, well, first of all, you got to take the step to be secure and strong. And, especially you a person who got grandchildren. So, you should be definitely having this conversation. You don't know what's going on. Like you said, we're not trying to guide our children to be a certain. Now, I've raised my children to be straight, and fortunately, all 4 of my children happen to be straight. And I'm not saying that's as far as everybody else, it's good for me, because I want grandchildren, out of a 23-year-old, a 20-year-old, a 17 and a 15-year-old. I don't feel like their preferences are going to change. I don't have any grandchildren yet. I think I did a good job now, but I did shape them in the beginning. Now, because I did such a good job from a toddler all the way to a preteen, I've been successful with that. Like I said, 23 years old, 20 years old, 17, 15. So, but a lot of people are just sitting back waiting to see what's going to happen. And like you said, with their values, when you have certain values and expectations in your head, then you can't just wait to see what's going to happen. You either got to implement something or at least try to instill some type of values or try to teach and bring awareness or at least mention certain things. It depends on the degree that you want to go to try to shape your reality of what's going to work for you. Like, you understand what I'm saying? And I'm not saying, in today's world, everybody's so sensitive. It's that everybody just wants to do what they want to do regardless. And I think that's how it should be. I don't think nobody should do nothing they don't want to do. I think you should do what you want to do so we can know who everybody is. I want everybody to be truthful to me. I want to see who everybody is. That way I know how to deal with everybody. That way I'm not offending nobody. And that way I'm not getting anyone misconstrued. That makes sense. And T Wriggles, man, I know you I don't know if you wanted to interject or whatever. I feel like I just started talking and that you might have had something to say. So my bad, bro.
No, bro. I mean, this is thanks. I appreciate Mental Ninja bringing all of that to me. You know what I mean, and breaking it all down. I never heard of the terms like littles. That was phenomenal. I never heard of littles. And what I need to even ask just again, what is a little again, Mental Ninja?
So a little is in the bracket of the category of age play, and littles you have various degrees of them. Like you have like you can hear it in my voice. There's some things I don't know about that shit, right? But it's all good.
Right.
And
Right.
Some littles are like they're like 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds. Now this is not a sexualized thing. This is just kink of like more so cosplay and shit.
Cosplay.
So okay, so they don't act like kids when they actually like sexually interacting with each other, do they? I mean, because that'll be a little weird. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to, offend nobody or nothing, but that's why. Yeah.
So like, I do know of a couple people I've met and shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't. That's not my cup of tea, so I only interact with them that much and shit. But like, the girl acts like to me it was over the top and shit. She acts like a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old, and like she's pretty intense with it. I think she also has like some kind of hardcore autism and shit. I don't think it's all just an act and shit. I think she's a little mentally underdeveloped and shit. You know what I'm saying? Not like it's her own fault. But still, she is the age playing shit, and her dude is like she's like fucking 4'6", and he's like fucking 6'3". And
shit! I don't listen. This dude has to be a PDF file, man. This shit is crazy.
He ain't though. He's like a gay dude actually and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, really proper and prim and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like just this fucking like one of them gay butler ass niggas and shit. You know what I'm saying? And like that's what they enjoy. And like these motherfuckers are like they're like watching Teletubbies. They're dressing up as SpongeBob. Like that's their thing and shit. But they kind of grew up in that era and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like for people my age and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like 40s and shit, man. You still got niggas walking around like they still dressing like Cash Money and shit with the long do-rag and the fucking strands hanging with the fucking fitted. The baggy. Like, nigga, like, I see a nigga with a fresh pair of Dadas on just the other day and shit, nigga. Like, that is also, like, there could be age play. There could also be fucking 90s play or 80s play and shit, you know what I'm saying? So there's, like, like things they like to do and shit. Like, I went to one a play party and shit, and it was a pet play party and shit, you know what I'm saying? I got this fucking little, it's like a werewolf shit. It was werewolf outfit I wear and shit. I was go hang out and shit, you know what I'm saying? Meet chicks and stuff. And like upstairs, bro, they're up in there fucking watching Scooby Doo, nigga. And they were sitting there like sleep over like we was kids, nigga. Like we was sit up in that bitch like we was motherfucking like back in the day and shit, talking the same way. It was kind of fun to like, cause you know I'm a Toys R Us kid at the end of the fucking day, my nigga. I ain't gonna never not be a Toys R Us kid. If I see Transformers, I'm gonna go fucking play with the Transformer nigga, cause I fuck like the old school ones and shit. I still love that shit. So like, it's more of a fucking like a thing where we can stop being adults for a minute and shit. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't do it. I'm not really into that shit at all and shit, but I do get it. And so there's littles, there's middles, and there's bigs.
So littles, I know what the littles is, the people acting like little babies and shit. Okay, so the middles, what is the middles? What's middles?
Like 11 to like 15 or 16.
Oh, so they actually pick an age that they role play at.
That's it. Yeah.
That's so sick. That's bad. That's bad.
That's kind of bad though. That's bad. That's real bad, man. That ain't
So, bro, when your girl look at you and she do that pout face, that's age play. That's how it was broken at me. I was like, damn, because at first I couldn't separate, you know, acting like a kid to fucking with kids. You know what I'm saying? Because no bullshit, bro. I'll still play Mario, nigga. Pull up a power pad, nigga. I'm gonna hop on that bitch, nigga. I'm gonna play the Olympic game and shit. Be doing jumping off the fucking power pad and shit. I'll still play like Monopoly. And if a nigga, bro, remember we used to be fucking shooting the free throws with the eyes closed like Jordan and shit. We were kids and shit, nigga. If we do this kind of behavior today, that will be considered age play and shit. You know what I'm saying? But for them, they've actually made it like they've made it into like an actual thing, like a cosplay, like you said, role play thing, like Dungeons. And a lot of these people, they like Dungeons and Dragons and shit. They're down for the cosplay, role play, theater, dramatization and shit. But
so I want to ask about that. So I gotta get out of here. But you know, I'm really getting educated about this shit because, you know, like I said, I'm considered as boring, right? So I was kind of trying to see about the dating shit, and like most of the chicks think I'm boring and shit because I don't want to, you know, you're not gonna spit in my mouth or all that old weird shit like that. That's what the chick, she was like, you know what I want to do to you? When I see you, I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I'm gonna spit in your mouth, and I'm like, bitch, I'll knock you the fuck out. You ain't gonna spit in my fucking mouth. What's wrong with you? That's nasty. But I'm boring, right? I just like traditional shit. That's just me. So that's why I said, hey, it's better for me just to just don't do nothing, just work on myself. It's a crazy world we living in right now, you know. And I mean, I got so many questions right now, man, that is just, and it's like honest questions because I see this shit. Okay, the Dungeons and Dragons shit. Like I hear people saying that they playing that. So, but then I also seen one of these individuals at a lake with some guys that he was playing Dungeons and Dragons with. So they had blow up dolls. So they had women blow up dolls, and they also had like a man blow up doll. And it had the private parts on there and shit. So what is that shit all about? Because I don't understand.
Look. It's okay to do Dungeons and Dragons in the home, or maybe. But when you at a lake, nah, this is a ritual. This is spell work going on. The wizards and
That's what I thought. Because the water's right there with the currency. You know what I mean? And the medium. Yeah, you know.
Shit, bro. Like, and there are stigmas that, because I'm like you said, my expertise, like I'm still at the fucking basically entry level position learning about all this stuff. I've only been involved in the kink thing for like 2.5, 3 years and shit. And over the past year and a half, I've gotten more involved in shit now. I'm modeling for fucking fashion companies and shit with their harnesses and shit. I'm going to more play parties. I've had a couple submissives and shit. You know what I'm saying? I go to the sky, I do all this shit because like it got to a point. It was like, you know what it was? I'll show you what it was, nigga. Hold up. It was when I spent fucking $250 on a flogger, nigga. I'm like, nigga, I'm all in this shit. Hold up. Let me flip my camera.
Let me see. Let me put my camera on. Let me see what you're talking about. Let me see what you're talking about.
When I spent $250 on this thing right here, this is custom made. It's a leather flogger made of deer hide and shit. This shit costed $250. The nigga made the handle, put all into it. When I did that shot, I'm like, okay, it's getting real and shit. And this is one of my paddles and shit. I'll be spanking bitches with this bitch right here.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. Look, I hate to get out of here.
That's the slapper. That's like the shot.
So you know, look,
Oh, he got all this shit, man.
with this shit, got collars, nigga, in this motherfucker. Look, this is my little fucker. This a harness, nigga. This have a bitch like a fucking like a turkey on Thanksgiving Day and shit, nigga. And look, got my rope harnesses and shit. Got collars and shit, bro. Like when I have chicks come over my house, look, they come over and they see this on the wall, nigga.
Wow.
They know, look, they know I got my shit all set up all nice and shit, nigga. Look, they know what time
What's
it
that
is.
room? Oh,
That's the motherfucking sex magic room, man.
Look,
sex
I
magic
got the
room.
mask. Look, I got the mask, nigga. We both put the masks on, nigga.
Put the
Look,
mask on. How you have sex with the mask?
on, nigga. Look, I got the Casey Jones, nigga. The official, nigga. Look, our King Leonidas a bitch, nigga. I got my wolf mask and shit. Look, check this shit out real quick. Hold up. Let me hit my lights real quick.
Man, like my top draw.
Hey, bitch go in my house, nigga. She know. She gonna know what time it is, nigga. Look.
Yeah.
Nice and shit with the colors and the ambience and shit, bro. Look. And it's only because I started finding like I kind of got tired of like normal kind of things and shit. I wanted to fucking have like just have a little bit more fun and shit, bro. I like tying chicks up and shit.
Yeah.
Choking them and shit.
Man. I hate to get out of here, man. Damn, we're gonna have to revisit this shit. I mean, this was very knowledgeable, man. I hate to get out of here, but I do gotta get out of here, man. Damn, I appreciate y'all, man. And shit, I gotta try to do some shit before it get too late, man. But man, this was a very interesting, a very educational stream. I appreciate you for coming, man, and dropping jewels as far as this. So that way we wasn't just having no pointless conversation about sex. You know, I wanted to bring awareness. I wanted to be able to overstand these things myself. And like I said, I did want to bring awareness. Hey, I give y'all a chance to, man, close out. But yeah, I do got to get out of here. I hate I do, man, but this was a dope stream. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, bro. Look.
Hey, great stream, man. Look, Mental Ninja. Hey, thank you, brother. You know what I mean? You put you baked the cake with the icing and the candles and lit the candles on fire. That was brilliant, man. Thank you for your expertise on this matter, man. Because this is a serious thing. It's almost like saying everything you broke down in categories. It almost sounds like pronouns. You know, like polyamory, poly this, and the littles, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Thank you for your expertise, and thank you, Key, for having me on for my tinfoil hatness too. You know, just I got all the downloads. I learned some things today. This was great, superb. Thank you.
Hey man, I appreciate you, man.
There's a dude you can check out. He a nigga too, bro. His name is Master Arcane. He like a mix and shit. But this nigga, bro, that's where I fucking like the way he talked about BDSM and kink and shit, bro. I understood it coming from his perspective because this nigga, he a nigga, bro. He got a little white chick and shit. His name is Master Arcane and shit. I got his book. But look, do a part 2 of this shit, man. And it's like, it's spread awareness and shit. It's like niggas should be bro. Encourage niggas to like fucking nigga be open about this shit, nigga having fucking like fun fetishes and shit don't make you weird, nigga. Don't make you gay and shit, nigga. I'll tell you what make you gay, nigga. Not fucking bitches, nigga, and being so fucking. Oh, we only do missionary style in the bedroom.
He said that's what makes you gay.
You got one foot in the door, nigga. I just tell niggas like, look, I'm like, nigga, monogamy. I guess I was like almost having one foot in the door, nigga, because like, you know, when you with your chick. And you can't look at other chicks. You can't say this person's pretty. You gotta like, you gotta become like fucking. You gotta suppress like your natural sexual urges and shit, nigga. But she get to dress up. She could do this and that. There's a fucking power imbalance and shit. She
Oh
dressed.
yeah, you switching roles at that point. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Bro.
I
So
can
like
dig it. I
at
can
the end
dig
of the
it.
day, bro. At the end of the
But
day,
yeah, I'm at my time, man. I gotta get out of here, man. We passed our time and shit. I gotta start dumbing this time down. I hate to do that, but I only have so much time, especially with StreamYard, then especially with my work for the day. I wish I had more time. We would do a part 2 to this. So I'm gonna reach out to y'all. Send me an email. That way I have y'all contact. That way I could
do you same number,
contact
nigga?
you.
You still got the same number for a couple years ago?
857-242.
Hold on, let me see real quick.
Yeah, or my email keynorthful@gmail.com.
I'll hit your Gmail. That's a different number. Yeah, I'll hit your Gmail then.
Yeah, then I will swap up, but we got to do a part 2. I hate to get out of here, man, but salutes to y'all, man. I appreciate everybody in the chat, everybody who joined the panel. Salutes to y'all. You know, I do want to let everybody know, whatever your sexual preferences are, whatever your sexual activity rate is, make sure y'all being safe out there. Make sure you guys are using condoms if you got multiple problems. Also, if you feel that you're suffering from sex abuse or sexual addiction, I want you to be sure to call 1-800-656-4673. And if you see a child or know of a child who's been sexually abused, contact your local authorities. Until next time, I love y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace and peace.